Did Anakin Skywalker truly deserve redemption? His journey from Jedi hero to Darth Vader is a story of corruption, moral failure, and ultimately, sacrifice. Anakin's fall from grace wasn't an overnight transformation into evil. It was a slow, painful corruption shaped by fear, trauma, and manipulation. As a young Jedi, Anakin was filled with compassion, deeply loyal to those he loved, and committed to justice. But his overwhelming fear of losing Padme twisted his good qualities into something dark. What started as love turned into obsession, and his bravery was consumed by ruthless ambition. This raises an interesting point. Are people born evil, or is evil something that develops over time through the corruption of virtues? Anakin's story suggests the latter. Even as Darth Vader, there's still a spark of good within him. His final sacrifice to save Luke shows that no matter how far someone has fallen, redemption is possible. It's not about erasing the past, it's about reclaiming one's true self. Anakin's story also forces us to confront a difficult question. How much control did he really have over his choices? The prophecy of the Chosen One looms large over his life, suggesting that his destiny was to bring balance to the Force. But was his transformation into Darth Vader inevitable? Or did he have the freedom to choose a different path? While destiny plays a role, Anakin makes significant choices along the way. He chooses power over compassion, fear over trust, and ambition over humility. Even though Palpatine manipulates him, Anakin ultimately decides to embrace the dark side. This highlights the tension between external influences and personal responsibility. Yes, he was shaped by his circumstances, but he still made choices, and those choices had devastating consequences. Anakin's moment of redemption comes when he sees the Emperor torturing Luke. In this critical moment, Anakin is forced to confront everything he's done, the suffering he caused, especially the harm to his own family. But here, instead of reacting out of fear or anger, he acts out of love. He chooses to save his son. This act of selflessness marks a profound moral shift for Anakin. It's not about atoning for every single wrong he's committed, but about recognizing his failings and making a choice to change. Philosophically, this suggests that redemption isn't just about balancing good and bad deeds. It's about the potential for moral transformation, even in the darkest circumstances. In his final moments, when Anakin asks Luke to remove his mask, it's symbolic of his desire to reconnect with the person he once was. His frailty is on full display. Physically, he's broken, but emotionally, he's healing. His eyes, once clouded by the darkness of the Sith, return to their original blue, signaling his return to the light. This moment emphasizes that redemption is as much about self-awareness and remorse as it is about action. By seeking reconnection with his son, Anakin acknowledges the harm he's caused and demonstrates a genuine desire to reclaim his humanity. Luke's belief in his father's goodness plays a crucial role here. Without that belief, Anakin might have remained lost in the darkness. But one of the hardest questions to answer is, can a single act of sacrifice truly make up for a lifetime of evil? Anakin's final act, destroying the Emperor and saving Luke, does fulfill the prophecy and restore balance to the Force. But does it absolve him of all the suffering he caused? Anakin's redemption seems to be more about internal transformation than external atonement. He can't undo the past, but his willingness to sacrifice himself shows a fundamental change in his character. Redemption, then, isn't about erasing the past. It's about striving to be better. Central to Anakin's redemption is the compassion Luke shows him. Despite all the atrocities Darth Vader committed, Luke never gives up on his father's potential for good. This speaks to the idea that redemption isn't just an individual journey. It often requires the support and forgiveness of others. From a philosophical perspective, we might ask, does Anakin deserve forgiveness? Luke's compassion suggests that forgiveness isn't necessarily something that's deserved. It's an act of grace. Without Luke's faith in him, Anakin may never have found his way back to the light. Even though Anakin redeems himself in the end, the legacy of his actions as Darth Vader cannot be undone. The lives lost, the pain and suffering, these remain part of who he was. This raises the question of whether redemption can ever fully wash away the consequences of evil actions. Anakin's story shows us that redemption isn't about erasing one's past. It's about accepting it, learning from it, and choosing to change. His life represents the duality of human nature, the capacity for great good and great evil. While his final act redeems him personally, it doesn't erase the harm he caused. Finally, Anakin's appearance as a Force ghost alongside Obi-Wan and Yoda suggests that in the Star Wars universe, redemption transcends death. This symbolizes that redemption is an ongoing process, one that doesn't end with life. Even after death, one's actions and legacy continue to ripple through the world, and so does the opportunity for growth and change. So, did Anakin deserve redemption? That depends on how you define it. If redemption means atoning for past wrongs, his single act of sacrifice may seem insufficient. But if it's about personal transformation, the reclaiming of one's moral self, then Anakin's final act of love and sacrifice represents a profound moral awakening. In the Star Wars universe, where mercy and the potential for change are central themes, Anakin's redemption shows that no one is beyond saving. Even after a lifetime of darkness, there is always the possibility of returning to the light.